Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a max effort upper day. But a quick reminder for those of you guys who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. You guys notice I went flat-footed today. It's because my hamstring started cramping from yesterday's workout when I tried to go up on my toes. So we're going to just work with some flat-footed for a while. I decided, I think for a bit we're going to do a lot of different pressing that is very close to competition style. Meaning we're gonna drop mostly bands and chains. I'm gonna do a lot of pin work, my different bars, some incline. I will actually try fairly soon just a normal flat bench to see where I'm at, and we're gonna keep building up. You guys are gonna notice they're all gonna be wide grip, all right? Because I've got to get that wide grip benching up. I'm trying to build all the musculature to it, and so we need to see how it's progressing. So I got 320 on this, which is matched for a lifetime PR using this bar. I've only maxed on this bar a few times in the past, so we know I'm not in a bad place relative to where I have been. So just for this week, I decided I'm going to do all barbell work, because starting next week, with my changing speed waves, I'm going to run 3-week waves of all my supplemental lifts, and I think that's going to be, I'm going to run waves of bars versus dumbbells for all my pressing, and I'm going to press 3 different angles. We're going to go back to doing all this real wide grip stuff as primary, or dumbbells, because again I need that stretch. I'll probably do incline and then seated. I might mess with some standing overhead, but I think I'm going to do seated. It has better carryover to what I'm doing. It really does, because we're trying to build the bench, and I need to overdevelop my pecs and my delts. And then I need to make sure that long head of the tricep comes up, because that long head of my tricep is tiny. It is way underdeveloped. We know it affects max bench. But because I'm gripping real wide grip, we know it's going to be pecs and delts. So same thing here on the floor press, just trying to mess with the floor press again to kind of see where I'm at. I went with what I did last time I did it and did 225, matched it. So we'll try to progress on these. Just this week I'm going to do bars, because when I switch waves, I'm going to switch to the dumbbells and stuff. Just like I said, I'm going to switch bars on the good mornings and things. So we're going to keep this theme, and I'm going to try to run supplemental work in 3-week waves and then rotate. This is how I'm going to avoid overuse and while pushing pretty significant amounts of volume. So I'm going to hit all the different angles. And the thing to remember with some of those 3-week waves, it keeps you from losing the hypertrophy from the other waves. That's its own topic. Went up 2.5 pounds today, microloading up these rows, right? And I don't care if they turn a little bit into cheat rows, as long as I get my full range of motion. And I just want to get real strong on these. Like I have a friend who we were chatting a while back, and he said, yeah, the best thing he did for his deadlift was just get real strong at cheat rows. And this is not a gym bro either. So when I'm talking about someone, I'm talking about someone who is a coach who actually has a biomechanics background. So he actually said when he got up to where he could rep 405 on cheat rows, like his deadlift just shot up to 700. And he says one of the best things he did. So I don't mind if they get a little cheaty, because we're going to do strict stuff also. I'm going to do 2 types of rows every upper body day. We're going to focus on rowing for middle and upper back. We're not going to care about pull-ups, chin-ups. We need to do what works, because at this point I'm in it to win it. It's got to be what's going to make my squat, bench, and deadlift go up the most. How do we get all around strong and big to do it? And it's going to have to continue to be body composition. People are noticing, yes, I am still progressively getting leaner. I'm going to get a lot leaner. Weight classes, body composition wins in powerlifting. It just does. Fat powerlifting is over. We need to be thick in all the right places, and we need to be lean. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's a hell of a lot better for my health, which we've already discussed. So incline, I picked up where I left off and managed to actually successfully get it. Haven't done incline in a while, but I kept my notes and said, where was I at for 10s? 175. We got it with a nice wide grip. Now, I will say that my whole shoulders and upper chest just feel wrecked today after all of this. Not going to lie. They're trashed. They're beat up more than I normally feel beat up on a workout. They feel about like my hamstrings did yesterday. But these went well, and I feel like, again, I've got room to grow. once I get into the rotation with this stuff too, we'll max on an incline. All right, I probably want to max with every bar I have. I want to do some floor pressing, I want to do some incline, I want to do some dead pin stuff. I want to see if my shoulder will allow for it, and I want to max on all my bars on the box squats. And this way we're not just messing with bands and chains, we're just straight changing through all the bars. I have the ability to do so, why not? I have the bars, let's put them to use for ME work and continually change that stress. But again, these are all paused. So anything that's going to actually be a bar touching my chest, I'm going to try to do it paused. That includes all my speed bench. Speed bench is going to be my main practice, but the incline can be practiced too. As you guys could tell, that last rep was tough. That was grindy, was slipping out of its groove. These, at first I was worried. I went up 2.5 pounds. The best I've done is 195 for 3x10. I added micro plates, and the first set was terrible. I'm like, am I even getting the full range of motion? Second and third set went so much better. I got in my groove more. I got a real tight grip on the bar, got aggressive, and the next couple sets went a lot better. Although you guys see me at the end of each set just hanging for a second because I'm tired. They're challenging, especially after doing the cheat rows first. Right? It's more difficult. But I'm almost at a point now. We're almost at 200 for 3x10. We're a micro plate away. So that's not a bad place, I think, for seal rows. You know, I'm going off myself. I don't even know what most people out there seal row. I've got to be honest. I should look into strength standards for seal rows and get an idea, because I don't know what other people out there are lifting. A few of my clients have access to do them, but they're weaker than me on them, so haven't been thinking about it that much. So I don't know, guys. Maybe someone below tell me what is acceptable strength for seal rows. I mean, I'm doing 10s there. All right, the seated axle bar. The first set, I felt like some of my short stroked it. I managed to get 10 with this. The second and third set, I only got 6. Now, if it's because I tried to make sure I got the last inch on the range of motion on the last ones, or was it because of just general fatigue of my delts? Because my delts were done. After doing that incline first, oh my God, my delts were like, what are you doing to us? What are you doing to us? And I think I'm going to be able to get away with this as far as the 3 presses after ME and DE, because I'm changing the angles a lot and I'm going to do an overhead in there. Again, want to make sure my delts get overdeveloped. And I could do the same thing with specialty bars. But I'm getting plenty of chest work. And I'm looking at degrees of carryover. Will the overhead carry over to the incline? Yes, the incline will carry over to the overhead. The incline will carry over to bench. We can argue that overhead pressing isn't always the best for bench carryover. I know some people who feel that way. Of course, this is not a normal overhead press. We're seated, so it's still at a slight angle because of the bench design. Right? But this will have great carryover. Notice I'm touching the chest on all these, and I can only get 6s when I'm touching. And I don't want to cut the weight down. I might have to, though. I might have to cut it down a little bit to do it. Because again, I'm going to be rotating bars and dumbbells. I thought, let me give myself just 1 week break from the dumbbell extensions and go back to messing with these. Man, these were hard. These are so hard with the 95 pounds. And for those who are watching, keep in mind, I'm doing a completely different exercise on the eccentric and concentric. You can't always see from this angle, but I'm basically doing a pullover on the eccentric to stretch the long head, and then I'm doing a true extension on the way up to work the whole tricep. But the point here is I do need to have a little bit of work for that long head. All right, the other heads are getting a lot of work on all that pressing I'm doing, but we need that long head for the max bench. And what I decided to do here at the end with these final exercises, because my workout can run real long, because I take pretty long breaks to make sure I can complete each set, I decided to rotate through my smaller movements at the end. Instead of doing them in order, I rotated them in a series. It's just a quick superset, about 10 seconds between turning the camera on and off, doing the 3 different exercises, waiting like my 3 minutes and coming back and repeating it, and so on. The hammer curls, I didn't go quite as high on the first set. I got 12, so I tried to go a little higher on the last 2 and could only get 10s. Now, people will say, why hammer curls? Are you dropping the other curls for now? I don't know that the other curls are that amazing for me. I'll probably never have great biceps, no matter how much of that other stuff I do. Hammer curls still hit the biceps. But let's talk about benching. What do most bench specialists tell you? Hammer curls is great for the bench as far as, elbow stabilization. Building the biceps, brachialis, radial brachialis, give you something to push off of. They're great. Okay. I also tend to cause less tendon inflammation. Number 2, they help with grip. Number 3, they're more specific to my rowing. I need my rowing to all get stronger because I need the upper and middle back from the rowing to carry over to all of my lifts. Right? I need to keep getting that upper back thick. And the hammer curls will have carryover, especially if you have weaker arms, smaller arms like I do relative to my torso. Hammer curl will carry over. It can be addressing a possible weak link in those rows. And if I can get all the muscles involved on the arms, which again, they all get more involved on the hammer curl, it may help my rowing get stronger. Okay, eliminating that weak link. It's just like we talk about these other supplemental lifts. Well, we can train weak links in those also. The hammer curl is very specific, and I'm not saying I'll do only hammer curls and not rotate some of the other stuff back in. But when we're looking at what's going to give me the best performance potential, hammer curls are real high on that list. As far as if we're going to do a bicep movement, it does some other things. They bring some other muscles into play. Mainly a little more brachialis and a lot more radial brachialis. Right? And if we need cushioning and to make our whole arm thicker to push off of out of the bottom of a bench, or we need carry over to all that pronated grip pulling, they're a good fit. They're a good fit. But yeah, these extensions, my God, they were just hard today. Plus, they almost inflamed my shoulders. I have to be very careful with these. All right, I have to be very careful with them. I have to grip extremely close like this. I have to be pretty much inside the knurl. Right, I've got to be on the smooths, or else my shoulders do not like it at all. But if anything, I would say today, just my front delts, upper chest, all of that is just trashed. This programming is going to be a lot of delt work right now. I mean, there's still a lot of pec work. It's very pec heavy too, to be honest, as far as the pressing goes. But the delts, getting a lot of work. And if you look at everything, the way everything carries over, I might add some lateral raises in later, but the rear delt flies hit the side delts very effectively. If you look at any of the data on them, they're actually still in the top 3 or 4 exercises for side delts. So between that and then, again, all the seated pressing, my side delts may be getting more than enough work. But very, very happy with today's workout. We're going to keep seeing my pressing strength go up in spite of getting leaner. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.